Hi, everyone. This is Joelle, nurse practitioner and senior writer with nursejournal.org. Today, we are interviewing Dr. Polly Joseph, nurse scientist for Hispanic Heritage Month. Hi, Polly. How are you?
Hi, Joelle. How you doing? It's a pleasure
Good.
to be here.
Fantastic. Can you just tell us a little bit about yourself? Just introduce yourself and let us know why you became a nurse scientist.
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Dr. Polly Joseph. I'm a last year clinical research scholar at the National Institute of Health, and I am a nurse scientist, as Joelle has just mentioned. And why did I become a nurse scientist? I love research. I love the idea of creating new knowledge and having that new knowledge inform practice and policy, and just really just be the grounds for helping people in the disorders that I study. So I primarily study taste and smell in the context of disease. So as you might imagine, I've been quite busy during COVID, as we know that many individuals that develop COVID-19 also develop taste and smell loss. So that's work that I have done for a very long time. And actually, the reason that I got into this work was because of the patients that I used to see. So patients that have weight loss surgery often report that they taste changes and things taste differently. So I was very curious as to why that was. So I always like to think that my clinical practice influenced the questions that I asked for my research. And interestingly, it continues to do so even when our COVID work. And I know that you asked me also to introduce myself and say a little other things. So I'm originally from Caracas, Venezuela, and I came to the United States to go to college over 20 years ago.
Speaking of being versatile and traveling and love being a nurse, what about nursing gives you fulfillment?
Mentoring. I love mentoring people. And, often when I was working as a bedside nurse and I had the opportunity to precept, that was actually my highlight. Just being able to teach people, the way and just supporting people in their goals. And that's something that I'm able to do a lot, even as a nurse scientist, even when in my lab and outside my lab. So when people reach out to me to learn about my career trajectory or to mentor them in ways that they, just asking questions, I'm more than happy to do that. And I truly believe in mentoring and sponsorship people in their goals. And they're different. And I think it's very important that people understand the difference between the two, and mentoring is a relationship that you build with people. And, you'll have different types of mentors. You will have career mentors, life mentors, short-term mentors, long-term mentors, but they're mentors. They're there to, people that have had experiences. And there's not an age associated with it. There are people who might be younger than me who have been wonderful mentors to me because they have had experiences I haven't had. So I think just being humble about that process. And sponsorship is a little bit different. Like when you have a sponsor, someone that can advocate for you behind people's doors, that can promote you, that can, support, that can support some of your goals, and then they know that there's something available. They'll tell you and they cheer for you. They're not too far apart in terms of like the two, mentoring and sponsorship, but it's important that people know that there's two type of roles that sometimes the same person might have. So no, it's great. I love mentoring people. So if you're out there and you need a mentor, you have questions, just definitely reach out.
Oh, that's fantastic. Good to know. Tell us a little bit about your heritage again and how it's played a role in your nursing career.
Yes, absolutely. So as I said, I'm originally from Caracas, Venezuela, and I also have Haitian parents. So I have this mixture that I always felt that it has enriched who I am, and has helped me really appreciate people. Like diversity is embedded in who I am. just naturally there. So just appreciating both parts of my heritage, both parts of my culture, has always been there. So that has also helped me appreciate other people and what they bring to the table. So it's not really about thinking what's better, what's not better. It's just that it's just different, and different is okay. And I can tell you that sometimes it gets confusing even to me till now. Like I was, everyone in my family speaks Spanish. My partner speaks Spanish, the kids speak Spanish, everyone speaks Spanish. And when we just join everybody together, it's a mixture. You hear French, you hear Creole, you hear Spanish. And, it's just beautiful to see the diversity of the foods we all eat, and understanding also like the risk, when it comes to nutrition, because it's a big part of what my work does as well. And just knowing how the different aspects of the two cultures and what places individuals are like a higher risk for hypertension, because one part like likes a lot of salt, the other one likes a lot of sweets and sugar. So like just kind of like understanding all of those things. And I think that's just been important for me as a nurse and as a healthcare professional, and also as a scientist.
Speaking of scientists, tell us exactly, what does it mean to be a nurse scientist?
What does it mean to be a nurse scientist? So, I mean, for me particularly, a lot of people think that I don't see patients. I'm a nurse practitioner. So I still see patients, although most of the patients I see are associated with my research protocols and studies. And, as a nurse, it's like you take the whole body, the whole patient experience, and then you ask questions that are relevant to the discipline and to the patients that you're seeing. So as a nurse scientist, you are at the forefront of building knowledge, and theories that can help us manage the patient care in a way that, improve health and health outcomes. So I just love being at this part of the spectrum in nursing. And I really want other nurses to realize that this is possible. This is a career trajectory. And this is part of our career trajectory as nurses. And there's not a lot, especially Hispanic nurses with PhD, the numbers are just very small, very, very small. It's just like singular. The last statistics that I've seen, it's like 1%. But when you start thinking about, the population of, Hispanics in general, and you having very low representation of Hispanic nurses in the bedside, Hispanic nurses as a scientist, it really begs to encourage other individuals to really think about this as a career path. It's truly fulfilling, especially, for me, that I get to do both things. So it is possible.
How important is representation in nursing and in healthcare?
It's critical. It's critical. As I just said, like the numbers, especially of Hispanic nurses, are very small. The minority majority is changing and continues to change. We need Hispanic nurses, African-American nurses, Asian nurses. We need that representation, because we need to represent the patients that we see. How can we, it makes a difference. I remember many years ago, I had a patient for which, I noticed, the person was just frustrated looking for something on the TV, and all that person wanted to watch was a novela. Just watching one of those, his Latino novelas and all of that. And I was able to put it for her, and like we chit-chatted about it just because I knew about it. And it just made such a difference. And that's something so small. So there are nuances that we can support, that we can explain to our colleagues to understand, like, it's not that this person doesn't want to take the medication. They're probably afraid because of what they're hearing within the communities. It's like, it's a lot of what we're seeing even now in vaccinations, right? Like there's hesitancy, and, it's like what is being said within communities and things like that. But we are there, and as nurses, we're at the forefront. And the more diversity you have, I always say that diversity is woven in humanity. We all are different, and embracing that difference just helps appreciate the world and see things from a different lens. So, and that is critical as a nurse. We're there to help people get better or help them transition through the periods that they're going through. And we can do that. And just appreciating the differences that we all bring to the table. So I'm very grateful for my heritage and culture, because it has really been, as I said, innate for me. But I understand that it might not be innate for everyone.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
That's a great question. As I said, I love mentoring and I love teaching. I love encouraging people, not only on this path that I have been able to take, but also in whatever there is fulfilling to them. So I love my research trajectory. I love my research career. I love the leadership opportunities that I have been able to have. And, I see myself in different leadership positions where I can have an influence and in the community, where I can bring my ideas to the table and just make a difference in that way, developing different policies, or just trying to think of that. I mean, I'm still like brainstorming. I think that it's very important to have plans and have an idea of where you want to go, but also to have flexibility, because as we have seen over the last 18 months, we have to be flexible. The world has completely changed with COVID. What we are doing right now, even, just having this beautiful interview many years ago probably wasn't going to be possible because of the technology. So everything is changing. And I think that, when we think of 5 years, 10 years, we need to also embed flexibility to it. So I'm just open for the opportunities that come and just let them rain and shine, and just I'm here to listen. So we'll see what that brings, and I'll tell you all about it. I promise to come back.
Yes, definitely. Just a light question. What do you do for self-care, or something for fun?
Oh, that's a great question. So a big part of my life, and it's my spiritual practice. It's very, very important. I'm a big yoga person, and meditation is part of my life. Anyone that knows me knows that I wake up super early. So I wake up at 3:30 in the morning every day. And then I start my meditation and yoga practice. And then after that, I start getting stuff ready for the kids. But it helps me ground myself. It helps me take time for me. It's the time where it's uninterrupted time. But this is something I have done since I was I was a kid. I always woke up super early, so it stayed with me. So those, like, for me, that's a big part of my self-care routine. And then I just love to travel, except that we haven't been able to travel lately.
Oh, I know, unfortunately.
So no, this is great. And yeah, so with the other yogis out there, I'm super excited to join you.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Polly. This has been amazing interview. If you have any questions or comments for Polly, where can people find you?
Yeah, no, you can. So you can definitely Google my name, Polly Valerie Joseph, and you'll see my website. Or you can also email me, polly.joseph@nih.gov, and in different social media platforms. So you can definitely find me on Instagram, on Twitter, and just tell me that you heard me speak through this meeting, through this interview, just to give me a nudge, and I'll make sure that I remember and I'll respond.
Okay, fantastic. So everyone, you can follow us on nursejournal.org on all social media outlets. And thank you so much again, Polly, okay?
Thank you. Thank you so much.